ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule is expected to hand himself over to authorities before appearing in the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court tomorrow. Magashule is facing fraud and corruption charges relating to the irregular awarding of a 255 million rand asbestos roofing contract while he was the Premier of the Free State.
I submit that the involvement of Mr. Magashule in this asbestos makes him unfit to hold public office or the office of the Secretary-General of the ANC. Mr. Magashule's suitable place of abode in public is a jail cell.
One of Ace Magashule's former allies, before the Zondo Commission, spilling the beans, not mincing his words, former Free State MEC for Economic Development Mxoli Sidukwana implicating Ace Magashule for wrongdoing.
Mr. Magashule was simply a blesser to many.
Dukwana detailed Magashule's alleged involvement as the then Premier in the asbestos heist.
All the requests or instructions originated from Mr. Magashule. An inference could be drawn that the asbestos audit was but an asbestos audit heist sponsored by the Premier of the Free State government. The asbestos audit heist was executed through the Premier's office by Mr. Magashule's personal assistant employed by government at the behest of Mr. Magashule.
The asbestos saga describes how 255 million rand contract was handed out by the Province Department of Human Settlement in 2014, which went to waste. In his scathing testimony, he referred to emails showing that staff in Magashule's office, allegedly on the then Premier's instruction, requested the transfer of millions to Magashule's benefactors.
This was not only a blatant abuse of power by Mr. Magashule, but a brazen commission of fraud, money laundering and daylight robbery of the public purse.
ANC's General Secretary Ace Magashule is set to appear in court on the 13th of November on charges relating to fraud and corruption. Magashule's appearance comes after reports of a warrant of an imminent arrest made rounds for a month.
So let's see it. If it happens, it will happen. So I'm not worried at all because I know I haven't done anything wrong as a law-abiding citizen of South Africa. I will talk to my lawyers this afternoon.
Is this the first hearing of this issue?
It has been coming all the time, so I'm not worried at all. The struggle continues.
On Wednesday, the ANC briefed the media on the outcomes of the meeting between the party's embattled Secretary-General. For his part, Magashule has called on the public not to march to court or print regalia in his name when he appears in court.
And we need to respect the National Executive Committee's resolution that people will go as individuals. And we maintain the position that we remain seized with the matter.
Meanwhile, although facing criminal charges, Magashule will remain the party's Secretary-General until the ANC's National Executive Committee decides otherwise. This despite the NEC's approval of the ANC President Ramaphosa's motion to have party members who are facing charges of corruption to step aside until the conclusion of the investigations into their alleged misconduct to protect the image of the organization. But this has since proved to be difficult to enforce. Ntlantla Khatlani, SABC News, Johannesburg.
And Ntlantla joins us now. Ntlantla, so even though Ace Magashule himself has said that he doesn't want protests and marches and T-shirts with his face on them, that may happen tomorrow anyway.
Well, good evening, Francis. Well, indeed, we can expect that he will indeed receive supporters, even though the ANC has pronounced, or rather has yesterday said that he had asked that, people should not march when he was going to court, or rather, print regalia in his name and showing support to him. But quite interestingly, to take you back, this asbestos issue, if you remember vividly, just to take you back there, what made it very interesting is the amount of money that was, misused, especially during Dokwane, former MEC for Economic Development, also Dokwane's testimony, whereby he told the Zondo Commission of what transpired during that time. And 10 years later, if you go to the province, you can still find the asbestos roofing, despite the fact that, millions and hundreds of millions have been spent in eradicating those asbestos roofing.
All right, so what's expected inside the court? Are there some tensions ahead of that?
We can expect tomorrow that the court will sit as planned. Probably we will hear of a bail application, of which I believe that the state would not oppose. And going forward, the most interesting thing will be the development as, he appears to court after getting, or rather applying for the application, bail application, which will not be contested.
Magashule denies that he's done anything wrong. Would you say, though, he has gone beyond that and he is encouraging a conspiracy theory behind his arrest?
It won't be the first time we hear of some conspiracy when, one of the leaders is alleged to have been involved in corruption. We know that, he has, denied any wrongdoing. But quite interesting, and like I spoke to you earlier, is the testimony of his former friend when he was the premier of the Free State, saying that, the ANC SG, doesn't deserve to be in public office. He rather deserves to be in jail, accusing him of being behind, in forcing people to ensure that, this asbestos payments were made, and saying that, telling the commission that, the SG at the time was basically a blesser, and, especially to those who were close to him, and the only reason behind it was that he was benefiting something from those particular payments.
Yes, on the one hand, you'll have his supporters. We heard yesterday that the spokesperson of the ANC, Pule Mabe, says he's going in his personal capacity, as the ANC has decided, to Bloemfontein. His supporters may be believing that he's a political target, but you've brought up the evidence at the Zondo Commission. There are those emails, although he didn't write the emails, dictating where the proceeds of the asbestos audit should go to. Do you believe that the MPA believes it has a watertight case here?
Well, for a mere fact that he's probably tested before, or his statement will be tested before the court, that means there's something to what meets the eye, that needs to be looked at, especially after the testimonies or evidence that was given before the commission with regards to these millions that were spent, and the provincial government has nothing to show in terms of ensuring that those particular roofs were removed. I mean, millions, hundreds of millions were spent. And if you remember, Francis, just to take a bit back, when Sodi also appeared, he was questioned with regards to that in terms of, did those asbestos roofs were removed, and he said no, basically saying that, they were paid those particular millions just to count houses that were, had asbestos roofing. And then in his testimony, there's a part whereby he was speaking about, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo asked about how, the kind of person Sodi he was. And there was an issue whereby he, came to light that he even spent $500,000 on alcohol, and the commission finding it laughter. And Sodi lightly saying that, certain people have certain taste for alcohol, and that raises a question that you have the courage to even say that in front of the commission that is investigating wrongdoings, and you are alleged to have benefited wrongfully and not have even done any work, but you have the audacity to even say that to the Deputy Chief Justice during your testimony, raised concerns.
All right, well, we'll follow those proceedings very closely tomorrow. That was SABC News reporter Nhlanhla Kgatlana. Now, after